Couple zero hedge articles. Couple of zero hedge articles, my friends. Both of them have to do with people in poverty. Not exactly a great Christmas. One article, 41 million Americans are living in poverty this Christmas. And the other one, of course, is Christmas in Venezuela. And here you and I are getting crypto rich. This is why I do these videos. Cryptos, guys, get into cryptos. Get in the Trader Boss. Listen to what he's saying, please. Why? So that you don't have to end up like these people. Like you don't have to end up like, people in Venezuela, or, in our particular case, most of us are Americans. 41 million Americans living in poverty this Christmas. This is actually from Michael Snyder's site, the Economic Collapse blog. Even though the stock market continues to set new record high after new record high, poverty is still exploding all over America. It is being reported that 41 million people are living in poverty at this moment, and 9 million of them do not receive a single penny of income from anyone. Get your freaking cryptos, people. Once you have been unemployed for long enough, you don't qualify for unemployment payments any longer. And once you are on the street, there is nowhere for other government programs to send a check to. I have previously discussed the rising epidemic of homelessness in our nation, but most people don't want to think about that sort of thing these days. Even even New York City has the most homeless since the Great Depression. And even though homelessness in Los Angeles is at an all-time record high, most people want to pretend that everything is just fine. Well, the truth is everything is not fine. A reporter from The Guardian recently traveled with a special UN envoy to some of the most impoverished areas of the United States. His report is extremely eye-opening, and I wanted to share a short excerpt from his story. This portion of his article is about a 41-year-old woman named Ressie Finley, who is desperately trying to stay alive on the mean streets of Skid Row, Los Angeles. 18 in life, you've got it. 18 in life, Skid Row. No, really, there's a name. That's where they got the name from, the band. Actually, Skid Row. Ressie Finley, 41, has been busy sterilizing the white bucket she used to slop out in her tent, in which she has lived on and off for more than a decade. She keeps her living area, a mass of worn mattresses and blankets and a few motley possessions, as clean as she can in a losing battle against rats and cockroaches. She also endures waves of bedbugs and has large welts on her shoulders to prove it. She receives no formal income, and what she makes on recycling bottles and cans is in no way enough to afford the average rents of $1,400 a month for a tiny one-bedroom. A friend brings her food every couple of days. The rest of the time she relies on nearby missions. She cried twice in the course of our short conversation. Once when she recalled how her infant son was taken from her arms by social workers because of her drug habit, and now her son is 14, by the way. She has never seen him again. The second time was when she alluded to the sexual abuse that set her as a child on the path towards drugs and homelessness that she currently finds herself. Los Angeles has declared a state of emergency because the number of homeless is rising so rapidly, and so have 9 other cities along the West Coast. For much more on this, please see my previously entitled article entitled "As America Gives Thanks, Homelessness Continues to Set New Records in Major Cities Over the Nation." The sad thing is that there are more than 1 million homes sitting empty in America right now. As economic opportunities have dried up, many communities in their middle part of the nation are becoming ghost towns, and it's getting worse by each passing day. There are nearly 1.4 million vacant residential properties across the country, abandoned, not for sale, mostly unoccupied homes. With vacant properties comprising as much as 30% of residential properties, some neighborhoods are starting to feel like ghost towns. Many believe that the answer to the decline of the middle class and the growth of poverty is even more socialism, of course. And what would happen if most people who could barely struggle to survive and pay their bills and are behind and have more debt than they can possibly ever pay off, if we were to say, oh, let's put those people in these houses. Hey, well, what about me? I'm still, I'm paying all my bills barely. Why are you giving to those people for free? Hey, help me. Well, you've already got a house. I can't afford it, right? So you can't do that. If we want to have a healthy middle class again, we need to have a society that promotes entrepreneurs and the creation of small businesses. Today, we are literally choking the financial life out of entrepreneurs and small businesses. And when I am elected to Congress, I am going to fight as hard as I can to change that, he says. I like that guy a lot. So let's think about entrepreneurs. The company that I work for, I'm an IT director at a company, and I do their in-house IT, right? I'm not on the phone with customers, problems, things like that. But we do have a support group, an engineering team, and we sell business phone systems. And one of the big things we're hearing these days is, not interested. How come? We're going hosted, meaning voice over IP. You give them several handsets for their office. It connects to the internet, so to speak, a server. Voice over IP. You don't need a landline technically anymore, such as a T1 or a partial T1 or whatever it is. You don't need it anymore, and it's a lot cheaper. So we're getting a lot of that these days. So we're getting a lot of no's, but it costs a nice little chunk to get up in a data center, get the equipment, get the software, get everything you would need to have a platform to compete with some of the other voice over IP carriers ourselves. So what do? We'd have to use a third party, and there ain't hardly any money in there for commissions for everybody. You have a lot of upfront costs, and then you have to wait for the recurring payments to finally catch up. So I thought to myself, man, all these cryptos, well, why don't I see if I can, become a partner, kind of, or at least a silent partner. I'll lend whatever money it takes to get us in a data center, get the equipment, get the software, get everything going with crypto profits. And then everybody at my job will hopefully start hearing a lot more yeses than nos. Because there's really a lot of people saying no these days. There just is. For a whole bunch of reasons. But one big reason we keep saying is, oh, we're moving to hosted. We can't touch that. So it's like, like anything, you either get with the program, you get with the times, or you get left behind. And I don't want my company or anyone to get left behind. Not that I think we're going to be going anywhere bad or anything, but again, let's get with the times. Well, guess what? Someone can invest in this. That somebody is me. Thanks to some cryptos that I can unload here in 2018. I'm not doing it this year. I've already unloaded a good bit, plus my salary, plus my YouTube income, from the ads and stuff. Man, I'm going to get, I don't even know. I'm going to look at a tax bill that might be not too pretty to look at, but I got to pay your taxes. I'm going to pay my taxes. But 2018 is a new year. Let me liquidate some cryptos. Excuse me. And maybe invest in the company I work for. Entrepreneurs, creating new jobs, saving jobs potentially. Who knows, right? Because if that's where technology is going, and it is, got to get with the technology. So that's just it. When you have people that have money, entrepreneurs, we can flourish, we can help build things, right? I essentially would be an entrepreneur here. You might even argue you and I kind of already are with the cryptos. Technically, you know what? You're right. But there's still regular jobs out there, right? I mean, hey, let me invest in this damn thing. And that'll be kind of cool. So that's all I'm saying. Like, you can't give these handouts. You can't go to socialism. What about Venezuela? How's their Christmas going? Well, I'll tell you what. Let's let me get my little handy dandy thing here. I'll do that in a second video because this is kind of, it needs to be separate, honestly. Two different titles. Take care.